Former Walmart employees of Reddit, what are your horror stories? Not so much a horror story. I worked in grocery as a stocker. We had just finished a cereal display near the front of the store compiled of about 100 boxes. In comes an older lady, around 60s, driving one of the electric carts. She's looking dead on at the display and promptly rams into the thing. Boxes go everywhere and she starts apologizing over and over and explains that she's legally blind. A customer that was nearby and saw everything asked her how she drove here if she was blind. She responded by quickly turning around and leaving the store. I'm cured. It's a miracle. Open up the semi-trailer full of pet food to be greeted by 5 raccoons staring me down. I'm a full-grown man, but that was intimidating. Raccoons can be scary as frick. I would have probably let out a very undignified squeal. Working there as a cashier since October. Christmas Eve rolls around, and thank God I'm not scheduled to work. Cue phone call from the manager asking why I haven't come in yet that day. I'm not on the schedule, manager. Yes, you are me. I'm not coming in. I wasn't on the schedule. Next day I worked with the day after Boxing Day. Went and looked at the schedule, and lo and behold, someone wrote that I was supposed to work in pencil. I quit shortly after. My mom was a manager at Walmart. She told me about this woman who was trying to steal a prepaid phone. When she got caught by security, she used the knife she was attempting to open the plastic packaging with to cut the security dude after cutting herself. She then went on to scream at him that she has AIDS and now he's going to have it for trying to stop her. We just recently had that happen with a security guard at my work. Our security guard threw this punk out of his car as he attempted to make off with some merchandise, and she scratched him with her nails by mistake. Oops, genuinely wasn't her intention. And he proceeded to absolutely howl and laugh about how she now had AIDS. Freaking savages. I worked at Walmart about 13 years ago at one of the few stores left that closed overnight. It was a regular old Walmart, not at all super. I worked overnight, stocking. I liked it. I only dealt with customers for a couple hours before the store closed and then just stocked the shelves. I mainly worked in the automotive department, and the nights would go by really fast. I worked with a bunch of people who were related to each other. There was the dad, Steve, his wife's sister, and his stepdaughter who worked there during the day in the jewelry department. Steve stocked the sporting goods department, right next to mine. This guy was really gross. He would constantly pop over to my section and ask me if I needed help lifting stuff up onto the overstock shelves, and he would make comments about how pretty I was and how if he was 10 years younger he'd date me. Dude was pushing 50 and I was just a 19-year-old girl. I just laughed off his comments, say I didn't need help and that I was perfectly happy with my boyfriend, thank you. One night he decided to tell me how big his penis was. He related a story, a total lie, I'm sure, to me about how one day he was getting out of the shower and his stepdaughter, who was 17, saw him accidentally and exclaimed about how nice his penis was and how she wanted to try it out. I was dumbfounded and I did not know what to say. I just said, oh, well, I gotta get back to work, and kinda shuffled away. A week later he was caught having sex with his wife's sister in the bathroom at work. They were both fired. His wife quit and his stepdaughter continued to work there. Holy crap. You worked at the Jerry Springer version of the store. Mine isn't as bad as some of those here, but it was its own special kind of awful. I worked on third shift for a summer between college years. The Walmart I was in had about 1 hour's worth of music playing over the speakers all night, playing on a non-stop loop. My sleep habits were already pretty fricked from trying to adjust to third shift, but the music is what really did it. I heard that same music loop over and over again, all shift. 5 days a week. When I left the store, I would still hear it running in my head. Then I started hearing it in my dreams. Then, it got so ingrained that I started just dreaming I was working my shift at Walmart. Several days a week, I would have the experience of working an entire 8-hour shift. Then just around quitting time, my alarm clock would go off, and I would wake up and go work an 8-hour shift. I quit a few weeks early at the end of the summer because I was losing my goddamn mind. I sprained my back moving product in the back. At first I thought it was a pulled muscle, and walked towards the pharmacy to try and buy our heating pads and some Tylenol. I made it to jewelry, barely keeping conscious from the pain. I asked my coworker to call management and let them know I had hurt myself pretty badly and needed to go to the hospital. Management told her to have me go to the back office to fill out paperwork. I blacked out twice going back and was yelled at for taking so long. I ended up being out for a month and a half for the injury and got a whopping $24 in workman's comp because the second I got hurt my hours were reduced to 1 hour a week. I hate Walmart. A lot of what I'm seeing in the comments are people who didn't know they had a lawsuit on their hands. Makes me feels like I should start a non-profit primarily focused on informing Walmart employees of their rights. A friend of mine was working part-time at Walmart. He'd been there for over a year, was working any and all positioned shifts they threw at him so he could try to provide for his wife and, unexpected, new baby. He started to apply for any and all full-time positions as they really needed the benefits. One day management took him aside and told him this was not the Walmart way and he needed to make a plan with steps on how to get to a particular position. Apparently, anything full-time is not okay. Walmart wants to help you achieve your specific goals. Once I had a woman who was giving me a hard time about a coupon that was expired. Coupon people are the worst. She refused to give up. She really wanted that dollar off. My line was really getting long and I was getting really frustrated. So I reached in my pocket and pulled out a $5 and said, if I give you a $5 will you give up on this coupon? She got pissed and said, I can't believe you said that to me. She told the CSM but I didn't get in trouble for it. You're right. Coupon people are the worst. I'll start with my grossest. A woman comes in with some panties and said they didn't fit and she wanted to return them for cash because she had already bought the correct size elsewhere. She had a receipt and plopped a Walmart bag down on the counter. Inside this bag were 6 crusty crotched, crap-stained panties that were a biohazard from 6 feet away. Needless to say I did not touch them. I paged the manager on duty and he tells me to just take them back despite being very nasty. Processed the return and she happily left the store with her $8. Those panties were worth a lot more with the crusty crotch and crap stains there they would ever be new. Your manager is a smart businessman. Probably banked $50 to $60 a pair. Easily. You'd be surprised what man will spend on a good pair of stinky undies. Former cart pusher. Had an old lady try to tip me $1 after I helped her bring her newly bought plants or some crap to her car. I told her I couldn't accept it per company policy, and it was only $1 so I mean it wasn't particularly enticing. She then proceeded to roll over in her little scooter mobile and stuff it down the front of my pants. She chuckled dirtily as she rolled away. I worked for Malwart 11 years ago for a whopping total of 8 months. I worked the overnight shift as an overnight stocker for Department 8, Pets. The store I worked at had just gotten brand new high-rise shelves installed. They were said to be able to hold over a ton. Well, one night after getting all my regular freight stocked and the overstock put into the bins, my bosses had me pull 8 pallets of Arm & Hammer cat litter. The boxes had a bonus 10 pounds inside, making them nearly 35 or so pounds a piece. They wanted all of those on the high-rises. I asked if they were absolutely sure the shelves would be able to handle all that weight. I threw a crap fit about it because I know I was in the right for being worried. Other department managers who were there also sided with me. They watched over the next couple of hours as I carefully did my job. As I was putting the final 12 boxes on the bottom shelf, I heard a cracking and tearing sound. And next thing I know is I'm buried underneath all of the cat litter that had caused the shelf to collapse. Everybody in the store heard it happen. And everybody was explicitly told not to dial 911 or anything. Frick that crap. After getting all my blood cleaned from my face and cuts patched up, I called my uncle's then-time girlfriend who is a lawyer, told her what had just occurred, and what the upper management is attempting to do. As of today, I still haven't spent all the money I received as a result of going to court over it. Frick Walmart. I'm beginning to wonder if there is some sort of unofficial, since they wouldn't put that crap in writing, policy about calling 911. I was denied it too when I was assaulted by a customer. Freaking Walmart. This was like 5 days ago. I still work there. Went into the men's room and there was liquid crap on the wall and dripping down to the floor, like someone literally shot a diarrhea rocket on the wall. I just pretended like I didn't see it and carried on with my day. That's really the best thing you could have done. I don't even understand how people think it's okay to do this. Last summer I frequently visited my best friend who worked at the technology counter thing at Walmart. One day when I was there, someone took the biggest, steamiest crap I've ever seen in my life in the middle of the toy aisle. Someone pushed a car through it and it smeared everywhere. My buddy called in a code brown on his walkie-talkie, trying to be a smartass. Code brown means hostage situation. Hilarity ensued. When I worked at a hospital, a code brown was what your buddy thought it was. I was working at Walmart at the beginning of this year. Aside from weird older men hitting on me, it wasn't that bad. A few weeks before the minimum pay was raised, they decided I needed a new position in the store. I was told that I was great with people and needed to be out helping customers as opposed to checking. Sales associates get paid less than cashiers. They told me that since it was basically a promotion for me that they would let me keep the cashier pay instead of lowering me to sales pay. I agreed to the job for that reason. Plus new job was full time. A week later they take me to sign the papers for the job switch and the manager gets to the pay part. He says, "I know we told you that you could keep the same pay, but it's just easier to make it the same as everyone else's. Besides, everyone's pay is going up in a few weeks anyway." So I just agreed. Whatever, still going to be making more. Then my hours start getting cut. I agreed to 40 hours. I was cut down to 25. My manager said he messed up the schedule on accident and would fix it. It continued happening every week. I finally got so frustrated I just left one day and never came back. That type of management doesn't deserve a 2-week notice. There was black mold in the dairy cooler, and I don't mean just a little patch. I mean all the way along the yogurt wall. The manager who was asked to clean it claimed he did. So naturally the higher up management went to check his work. He hadn't even touched it. They ended up having to stand in there watching him disinfect the cooler from top to bottom. This was a well-known druggie and it was too gross for him. A coworker witnessed one of the day shift meat department workers take a piece of meat that was almost green out of claims and put it back on the shelf. On top of that, for a good 3 months you could smell the expired meat from outside the meat cooler. Oh god, meat claims. The smell from some of the things that come from returns. Why are people returning meat anyway? After sitting there all day, liver was the worst. Walmart week-long anniversary sale. I bring out a crate of Charmin Ultra Soft that was on sale. A pack of shoppers jump at it. Mom sends her little 5-year-old daughter to squeeze into the crowd. Other lady scratches her and takes her score. Women's washroom. Blood, poop, water and tissue everywhere. A line of pee-off ladies forms in under 1 minute after closing off washroom for cleaning. Some guy throws up in aisle 3. Barricade both ends of the aisle to clean up. People still try to squeeze in even with the smell and the visibly disgusting floor. Collecting carts in a parking lot where driving instructors like to take their students. This was before they had that electronic cart pushing thing. People will stand in the middle of the road as they see me coming in with the carts, all the while dragging little Timmy with him/her. I can't just swerve away from you and that oncoming car, so get out of the way. Some guy makes the perfect spiral poop in the urinal in the men's washroom. Why? How? I left it for the night crew and feigned ignorance. I envy spiral poopers. They have it good. 4 hours into my first shift, I was facing items on a bottom shelf while a coworker was facing items on the top shelf. She dropped a gallon of Gatorade on my head. Management refused to let me report the injury or leave to seek medical attention. I finished the shift, dazed and in pain. The next day I found out my skull was broken. Officially, since I was not allowed to report the injury, it didn't happen at work. I rage quit. You should have rage sued. Happened before I got hired, but I heard enough about it from coworkers. An elderly couple would come in once a week to go shopping. The old man had troubles walking, so he would kiss his wife and go sit in the fitting room area until she was done. One day they came in and did their little kiss and he also handed her his wedding ring, like he knew something was about to happen. A couple minutes of sitting there after his wife walked off, the guy collapsed to the floor and the fitting room ladies called 911. One of the department managers of the time was also a paramedic, so he rushed over. The old guy started to cough up blood and every available associate had to come and make a wall of people so customers don't see what is going on. All of these associates saw and heard the guy choking on his own blood, now coming out of his nose and ears, dying on the floor. They were trying to find his wife and no one could find her, and the associates had to wait a half hour for the coroner to get down there and take the body. The associates who saw it still have flashbacks about it. You have been visited by Feel Good Snack Boop in 1000. 2 years to feel good always. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.